Hello and a warm welcome to the Senador Turf Club for our barrier trials on this Tuesday the 30th of September, the last day of the month, and we have the 5 barrier trials taking place. Trials 1, 2 and 3 will be on track 2 and trials 4 and 5 will be on the sand track. Take note, we are working on a good track for the trials on track 2 as we have the runners and riders which will be up on screen for trial 1 in just a few moments. And from what I understand, there have been no changes to the trials this morning. Starting off with Super Smart Boss, HC Lian. Squeaking will be written by J. Ikram. Astro Nascente will be written by R. Newman. WO Esper Halden. Navy Seal will be written by Emzil Hilmi. Graph J Express, Andre de Silva. Energy Baby, J. Kamarudan. And Misty Swift will be written by KC1. Those are the runners and riders for Trial 1, and they'll be making their way down to the start shortly, and Trial 1 will commence at 9:10 local time. And the runners are moving into line for the first trial of the morning. Super Smart Boss, the first one in. A field of 8 runners. Both Navy Seals and Graafjet Express are the two New Zealand Bloodstock ready to run runners. That race fast approaching. In a couple of weeks' time, as Astra Nascente was just about to move in, but backed away at the last second. Second attempt. Moves in. Next one to load will be Navy Seals. And we have the two greys in this trial, Energy Baby, as well as Misty Swift. Misty Swift with a KC1 was reported lame near 4, and Energy Baby was reported lame off 4. As Energy Baby moves in after he went for a weak embargo. And that's just about half the field loaded away. Squeaking will be the next one to load. Or rather not. It might just be WO. Every time they try and move a runner to the stalls, they go around for another walk around. But I think they're currently working on Graafjet Express. It's proving to be quite a handful. It doesn't normally have problems behind the starting stalls. So they try again with Graafjet Express. This time he moves straight in. And we're left with 3 more runners for the first trial. All of Misty Swift, WO and Squeaking, who are the final 3 runners. Misty Swift, the next one. Squeaking to follow. Squeaking moves in. And WO with the blindfold will be the last one. WO moves in, and unfortunately Super Smart Boss has broken through the front of the starting stalls. XC Lian does have a strong hold of him. He hasn't gone more than 100 meters, and he will be making a quick U-turn and returning back to the starting stalls as the rest of the field stand waiting. So Super Smart Boss unfortunately broke through the front of the stalls and is now currently trotting back to the starting stalls. It is about 50 meters away. Otherwise the rest of the field are all loaded away. Just a reminder, we're working on a good track on track 2 for the first 3 trials, and trials 4 and 5 will be on the sand track. So Super Smart Boss has just about joined the rest of the field. And wasting no time, moves straight back in. Super Smart Boss now loaded away, set and ready, the first trial for the morning. And they're away and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark. Squeaking was one of the first ones to break. Right there's Astra Nascente showing pace as well. Deeper on the track, Misty Swift gets urged along to be right up there on speed. Then comes WO racing ahead of Navy Seals. Super Smart Boss trying to recover battle on the inside and is doing so. 3 lengths further back in the field to Graafjet Express and the back markers Energy Baby. As the field becomes a bit more stretched out now, about 9 lengths cover them as they make their way past the 550 meter mark. Squeaking up in front with Astra Nascente. 3 wide is Misty Swift. They're being tracked by WOs, only 2 lengths off off the leaders. 3.5 lengths back to Super Smart Boss, being followed by Draft Jet Express, Navy Seals, and the bat marker is a long way back and running Energy Baby as they're into the final 250 meters now. Up on the outside, Misty Swift with his nose in front. Battle on the inside. You've got Squeaking, these two. Pull lengths clear. Draft Jet Express now out on the clear on the outside and starting to do his best work late. And Draft Jet Express might just pick them up one by one, and he will do so. Draft Jet Express will win by just about half a length from Misty Swift, Squeaking. Then came Energy Baby, followed by Super Smart Boss, Navy Seals. Then came Astra Nascente and WO. So it will be Draft Jet Express, who Critons are best of all up on the outside of runners, and pick them off one by one in the closing stages under Andre De Silva for the HY Chen stable, and will win by half a length, beating Misty Swift back in second. Then came Squeaking back in third, followed by Energy Baby. Then came Super Smart Boss, followed by Astra Nascente and Navy Seals. They pretty much hit the line together, and WO was last of all. So just to confirm the numbers, Draft Jet Express the winner from Misty Swift. Third place was Squeaking. In fourth was Energy Baby. Fifth place Super Smart Boss. In sixth was Astra Nascente. Seventh was Navy Seals, and WO was the last one to cross the line. That completes trial 1. And we'll have the runners and riders for trial 2 up next shortly. And that should be up on screen just after the replay. And the trial should commence in approximately 8 minutes' time. Runners and riders for trial 2. Spicy Babe will be ridden by Esuzer. Strong Wind, CK Call, Lucky Freedom, Andre De Silva, Orish Star, R. Newtman, Pacific Delights, S. Behouden, Jungle King, KC1, and Trees of Valinor will be ridden by A. Nazir. Those are the runners and riders for trial 2, and they'll be making their way down to the start shortly. Runners moving into line for the second trial of the morning. Spicy Babe, the first one to move in. Field of 7 runners, once again over 1,000 meters. Next runner to load will be Strong Win. Orish Star being called into line. Orish Star moves in, having his official race trial, as well as Lucky Freedom and Strong Win. Next to load will be Pacific Delight. Just a little bit reluctant at first, and at the second attempt as well. So just over half the field to load. As Jungle King is the next one. He moves straight in with no problems. Jungle King returning after a bleeding attack in his last race. Pacific Delight now starts to lash out behind and is really starting to work up a bit of a sweat down there. As they try again with Pacific Delight. And Pacific Delight, not a happy camper at this stage. And he continues to go further and further away from the starting stalls. In the meanwhile, Trees of Valinor, as well as Lucky Freedom, are still waiting their turn to be loaded up. Trees of Valinor, also another runner being part of the New Zealand Bloodstock, ready to run. As once again, they're trying with Pacific Delight. And as soon as he gets bundled up, he lashes out from behind. And it's proving to be a little bit of a rodeo for Esperhouden. It looks like they will be going to try on the blindfold now. Meanwhile, the rest of the runners stand waiting, and Lucky Freedom and Trees of Valinor still waiting their turn to be loaded up. As they try again with Pacific Delight. And there doesn't seem to be any progress so far. And all the handlers running away at any sense that Pacific Delight is going to rear up and lash out. And Pacific Delight, riderless, moves straight in. So after all the commotion, Pacific Delight has now moved into line. And we've got 2 runners left to load Lucky Freedom as well as Trees of Valinor, and then we'll be set for a start. Lucky Freedom moves in. Trees of Valinor, the last one. Moves into the widest barrier, and then we are set and ready for the second trial of the morning. 1,000 meters ahead of them. And they're away and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark. Lucky Freedom missed the kick. He's at the back end of the field early on. Spicy Babe, on the other hand, broke out well, showing pace towards the outside. Jungle King there, being followed by Orish Star. Trees of Valinor just a little bit deep in the early stages, only racing 4 lengths off the leaders. Then came Pacific Delight, racing ahead of Strong Win, and Lucky Freedom after that slow start is last of all, racing 7 lengths off the leaders. Up into the final 600 meters, and Spicy Babe shoots 2.5 lengths clear of Jungle King. Then came Trees of Valinor and the Green Salts, racing 5 lengths off the leader. Making improvement around runners as Pacific Delight, there being followed by Orish Star. Then came Lucky Freedom, and Strong Winds dropped out to last and about a dozen lengths off the leader. As Spicy Babe continues to roll up in front into the final 200 meters she goes 2.5 lengths clear of Jungle King. Then came Trees of Valinor, who's hard held back in third, but it's all Spicy Babe will go start to finish up in front, and Spicy Babe with a very impressive trial in the build up to this weekend, and wins by about 4 lengths in the closing stages from Jungle King, Trees of Valinor. Lucky Freedom maybe just in fourth ahead of Strong Win, Orish Star, and dropping out to last was Pacific Delight. So Spicy Babe will go from barrier to box up in front with a rather comfortable win in trial 2. Hard held for most of the journey under Esuzère for the Lawson Moy stable, and it is carded to race this weekend on Sunday, so certainly one to look out for with a nice build up to this weekend's racing. And it's certainly put in some good work here in trial 2. Wins by about 4 lengths in the closing stages from Jungle King. Then came Trees of Valinor. It was hard held for most of the journey back in third. And it was a big margin to the 4th place also. It's quite close. I believe it was Lucky Freedom in the middle. It might have just finished ahead of Orish Star as we run through the replay. And it will be Lucky Freedom back in 4th, followed by Orish Star. Then came Strong Win. And last across the line was Pacific Delight. So just to repeat the numbers, Spicy Babe, the winner from Jungle King, Trees of Valinor in 3rd. 4th place was Lucky Freedom. In 5th was Orish Star. 6th place was Strong Win. And Pacific Delight was the last to cross the line. That completes trial 2. Up next is trial 3. It should commence in approximately 10 minutes time, and we'll have the runners and riders up on screen. Take note, this will be the last of the trials on track 2 before we head across to the sand track for trials 4 and 5. Runners and riders for trial 3 up on the screen. Artemis will be ridden by Jake Ikram, Bankers 99, R. Nutman, Good Chili, S. Shazman, Forest Gold, Emzil Hilmi, Happy Warrior, Xi Lian, Sirius, W.H. Lim, Typhoon, H.S. Gill, and King G will be ridden by A. Nazir. So it's a field of 8 runners over 1,000 meters, and once again, this is the last trial on track 2, and they should be making their way down to the start shortly. Runners moving in for the third trial of the morning. Bankers 99, the first one. Field of 8 runners. And all of Good Chili, Forest Gold, Happy Warrior, Sirius and Typhoon are all carded to race on Sunday. So we saw Spicy Babe in the previous trial, winning quite impressively in the build-up to this weekend's racing, as Good Chili moves into line. Now for the turn of Forest Gold. Still 5 runners left to load. Artemis will be the next one. Moves in. Half the field loaded away. And the remaining runners. We have Happy Warrior, who moves into line. Sirius, King G and Typhoon, the remaining runners. Sirius steps forward. Typhoon moves in. And King G will be the last one. King G moves into line. And we are set and ready. 8 runners. Third trial for the morning. Flags up. And they're off and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark. Towards the outside, Typhoon got off to a really good start, as well as King G is trying to overcome a wide draw, gets surged along, and will now go and lead the field down the back straight from Sirius. Battle on the inside, showing pace as well as Good Chili's improving in between runners, and that allows Sirius to drop back into third, racing now 5 lengths off the leader. That's been followed further back by Typhoon, Artemis. Then came Forest Gold, easily 10 lengths off the leader. It's a strong gallop up in front. 4 lengths further back to Happy Warrior, and the back marker for now is Bankers 99, completely outpaced and probably 20 lengths off the leader, as already at the top of the straight. 350 left to travel. King G up in front by about 5 lengths and running to Good Chili, who's further back. 6.5 lengths back to Typhoon, Forest Gold. The rest of the field completely outpaced as they're into the final 150 meters now. And up in front, King G starting to run on weary legs, and this is where Good Chili picks it up into the final 50 meters. Good Chili goes past, and Good Chili will win the third trial for the morning, beating home King G. Then further back was Typhoon, Forest Gold, Sirius. In behind that, Happy Warrior, just ahead of Bankers 99, and fading out was Artemis. So Good Chili under S. Shazman will win trial 3 for the morning. It was a very hot pace up in front, set by King G. And King G eventually ran on weary legs, and that allowed Good Chili to pick up the pieces into the final 50 meters and wins by just about half a length in the closing stages. So Good Chili the winner from King G, the long-time leader, not distressed back in second, and was probably 6 lengths further back to Typhoon, who was in third, followed by Forest Gold, who's back in fourth. Then came Sirius, followed by Happy Warrior. Then came Bankers 99, and Artemis was the last one. That completes trial 3. Just to run through the numbers once again: Good Chili the winner from King G in second, Typhoon in third, Forest Gold in fourth, Sirius was back in fifth, Happy Warrior in sixth, Bankers 99 in seventh, and Artemis completed the field. He was last of all in 8th. Up next is trial 4. This is the first of our 2 trials on the sand track, and it is also the penultimate trial for the morning, and we'll have the runners and riders up on screen shortly after the slow-mo replay of the minor placings. Runners and riders for Trial 4, Red Sun will be ridden by CK Core, Hero 83, Y Ivy, Star 83, SU Lim, Forever 61, S John, and Hasten will be ridden by Z Kareel. So a field of 5 runners, 1,000 meters on the sand track, and they'll be making their way down to the start shortly. And the runners are already moving in for the penultimate trial for the morning. as we move across to the sand track for the final two trials. Red Sun was the first one in. Take note, Star 83, it'll be ridden by SU Lim, is trialing with the blinkers on this morning as Hero 83 moves in. And we're left with three more runners, Forever 61, Hasten, as well as Star 83. Star 83 moves in. Next load will be Hasten by the looks of things. Hasten moves in, and Forever 61 the last one. Forever 61 steps forward, 5 runners, 1,000 meters on the sand track. Handler moves away, sets and ready. Gates crash back. They're off and trialing from the 1,000 meter mark, and the start has taught them to a pretty level beginning. Right in the center, Star 83, one of the quickest to respond. Forever 61 gets scrubbed along to be right up there in a handy position. Hastens 3 wide down the back straight. Battle on the inside is Hero 83. And last of all is Red Sun, who's done for early pace, and he's about 5 lengths off the leaders as they're into the turn now. With 800 meters left to travel up in front, Star 83 goes 2 lengths clear, Forever 61. Battle on the inside, Hero 83. Starting to gain momentum now is Red Sun, who's improved a couple of placings. And last of all is Hasten, who's caught wide at the top of the straight. 400 left to travel, and up in front, Star 83 still the leader. 2 lengths clear of Hero 83. Then battle on the inside is Red Sun. 4.5 lengths back to Forever 61 with Hasten, who's deepest out on the track. As they're into the final 150 meters now, up in front, Star 83. But here it comes, Hero 83 over the top. And Hero 83 picks up the lead rather comfortably into the final 100 meters. And Hero 83 won't be for the catching, wins by 2 from Star 83, Red Sun. Then came Hasten, and Forever 61 was last across the line. So it will be Hero 83 from the Wayne Lim stable. That draws clear in the final 50 meters or so. Wins by about 2 lengths from Star 83, who did all the hard work up in front and just faded out in the closing stages. So it's the 83s with the first and second placings. Hero 83 from Star 83. Red Sun was back in third. Not a bad effort despite being scrubbed along quite early in the trial and lacking some early speed. And then there was a margin of what is close to a dozen lengths back to Hasten from Forever 61, who was last across the line. So just to confirm the numbers, Hero 83 the winner from Star 83, Red Sun in third, 4th place Hasten, and Forever 61 was the bat marker as we move across to the 5th and final trial for the morning. And that should commence in approximately 10 minutes time, and it's a field of 5 runners, and we'll have them up on the screen shortly. Runners and riders for the final trial. Richard Mule will be ridden by W.H. Lim. Bird Future, C.K. Core, Stealth 61, M. Zaki. War Sniper, S. Shazman, and Wind of Dubai will be ridden by S. John. Those are the 5 runners, and it is carded to be off at 10 to 10. And I can see a few of the runners already out on track, so he might just be in time. So give it about 5 minutes until the commencement of the 5th and final trial for the morning as they're making their way down to the start. Runners moving into line for the fifth and final trial for the morning. Richard Meal will be the first one. He is carded to race on Sunday, as well as War Sniper. As Richard Meal moves into line, field of 5 runners to close off proceedings at the Selindor Turf Club for our barrier trials. Bird Future, the next one being called into line. Moves in. Wind of Dubai, the next one. And 2 more left to load. Stealth 61, as well as War Sniper. Stealth 61 moves in. War Sniper, the last one. War Sniper moves in, sets and ready, 5 runners. Handler moves away, last trial for the morning. Flags up, gates are back, and they're away and trialling from the 1,000 metre mark towards the inside. Richard Meal got off to an absolute flyer, leads the field in the early stages, but Stealth 61 pours on the pressure, as well as War Sniper to make her line of 3 down the bat straight. 2.5 lengths back to Bird Future, and outpaced is Wind of Dubai, who spots the leaders about 6 or 7 lengths as they're into the turn now, with 800 metres left to travel up in front. It's Richard Meal, after that good start, continues to hold the lead by just about 3/4 of a length, and starting to extend now from War Sniper back in second, about 6 or 7 lengths further back to Bird Future, just ahead of Stealth 61, and Wind of Dubai will need to be an absolute superstar to win this trial from there, about 25 lengths off the leaders as they're into the final 300 metres. Up in front, Richard Meal, still the leader, goes strong by about 3.5 lengths to War Sniper, who's in hot pursuit up on the outside. Bird Futures a further 4 lengths back, and the rest of the field completely outpaced. As they're into the final 100 metres, Richard Meal looking to go all the way up in front. War Sniper with one last late challenge up on the outside, but it will be too late as Richard Meal goes all the way in front to beat home War Sniper. Bird Future back in third. Crossing the line now with Stealth 61, followed by Wind of Dubai. So Richard Meal and W.H. Lim for the HY Chen stable will go start to finish up in front. Got an incredibly good start and pinned the gates, went straight to the front, and there's no looking back for him, and wins by just about a length in the closing stages. War Sniper was doing the chasing, and we'll have to settle back into second, and it was a breakaway of about 6 or 7 lengths to Bird Future, who was a distant third, followed by Stealth 61, who was even further back. What was a better margin, I believe. It could have been 10 lengths further back from the third place horse into fourth. And Wind of Dubai was also some margin back into that 5th placing and was last across the line in what was a really stretched out field. As Richard Meal wins the final trial for the morning from War Sniper in second, Bird Future in third, Stealth 61 in fourth, and Wind of Dubai was last of all. Thank you very much for joining us for the barrier trials on this Tuesday, the 30th of September, the last day of the month, as we head into October, and looking forward to some great racing for the forthcoming month. And of course, we have our racing taking place on Sunday, with 12 races expected on the program. Until then, bid you farewell, and we'll see you at the races this weekend at the Selindor Turf Club.